Welcome to the studio. Just wanted to show you, like I give you a little quick tour maybe of the space. I got this new wide angle camera lens, 10mm, so I'm gonna really use it to its fullest potential to show you the big open area of my studio, which is basically just a second bedroom on the second floor of my house. Behind me here, this is kind of my, what do you call it, like a command center, if you will. That is a 2013 21-inch iMac. It's been trucking along for about 7 years now. We're running Pro Tools 10 and it works. That's all I can say. I haven't touched it, I haven't upgraded it in 7 years. The OS is the same. It's running like Mountain Lion or something. Very old, but you know, here we are. It does everything I need to do. I'm not running crazy amounts of virtual instruments or plugins or anything like that, so it works. It works. Looking at upgrading very soon, but for now, this is the rig. MIDI controller, the Alesis VI49. It's your pretty standard MIDI controller. I don't know, 49 keys. It's got a little the pads over here if you want them. Some fixed encoders and some toggle switches. I just use it for the keyboard, you know. I don't get into all the parameters and whatnot. Let's talk interface. Alright, right down here, it's a little bit hard to see. That rack on the floor there has a Behringer X32 inside of it, and that is what I use as an interface. It's like the rack mounted version of the full board. It's got 16 physical XLR inputs on the back. You know, you can expand it with some digital connections up to 32 inputs. But you know, I just need the 16 for here. You know, if I wanna have everything plugged in all at once and hop back and forth between instruments, I need a lot of inputs. So I get discrete 16 XLR inputs into Pro Tools, and it's fantastic. There's all kind of internal routing and stuff you can do with this thing. It's like an actual fully fledged digital mixing console, so it's pretty great. There's this really old iPad here. I use that iPad as a kind of like a touch controller for the X32. If I need to adjust like a headphone mix or adjust the gain on any preamps while I'm sitting at the drums, I do it with the iPad there. So next, what's next? Let's talk about the chair for a second. It's very important. Just a chair with some wheels, no arms. It's not incredibly comfortable or anything. It doesn't need to be comfortable. I'm not in here to relax. I'm not in here to lounge around. I don't need arm rests. I need to be able to put a guitar in my lap. I need to be able to swing around here, play a piano, adjust some parameters over here. You need to be quick and nimble, and your chair needs to be small so you don't get it in the way of things, and that's why it's there. So yeah, that's my chair philosophy, I guess. Here we have, you know, just a regular old digital piano, you know? Very simple. Here's a pick. Just a piano. It's incredibly useful for when I need to like pick out harmonies or try to like find what chord I'm looking for, or maybe just like remind myself, what's the starting note of this melody before I go sing it? Okay, that's the melody, here we go, let's do a take. That kind of thing. It's super handy. You don't have to open up a virtual instrument, wait for that to load, and make sure it's live and make sure everything's coming out the right speakers. It's just here, it has an on button and an off button, and I can play music with it. Okay, while we're over here at the desk, right? That's right beside the desk, by the way. But while we're over here, we can talk about my vocal microphone. This guy right here, this is the Bluebird XL from Blue Mics. It is what it is, you know, it's just a solid mid-range large diaphragm condenser. And that's what I use for my vocals. I let it hang out right beside the desk here. And when I'm ready to do a vocal take, I'll go over here and I'll just arm the track and I'll hit record and I'll stand up. And now I'm singing. So it's really handy for like a project studio where you're the only one you're kind of the engineer and you're the performer, so you want everything to be very close to each other. Any more gear on the desk here? Let's see. Studio monitors. We got the Sterling. I don't know what they are. There they are. If you're interested, that's kind of what they look like. I went to Guitar Center last year with the express purpose of finding some studio monitors. I A-B'd these Sterlings with like some Rockets and a couple other brands. These sounded the best to my ears with my reference tracks that I brought with me, so I bought them. They're sitting here on some kind of like foam thingies so the desk resonance doesn't get picked up in whatever freak. I don't know how that works. Maybe it doesn't matter, but you know, I got these little desk things for free like 10 years ago, so I'm still using them. What else? What else? What else? Let's move on. Let's move on to the other side of the room here. You get quite a expansive view with this lens. We have the messy couch over here and a little chair. Also, I've got two kind of giant TVs there. I bought these for a project I was going to do. It didn't really pan out. I put the TVs in here and I connected an Xbox to that one. And this one is sometimes my second monitor on the iMac. But they don't really do a whole lot right now. So, I had two giant TVs on the wall. Okay, over here. We've kind of got the guitar rig, I guess. Orange Tiny Terror. I love that amp. It sounds amazing. I love it so much. Those are kind of my settings for everything, by the way. You got the 112 cab, pedal board rundown. You got the compressor, then the EQ. I'm mostly using that as a clean boost. Then we got a tuner that goes to this Maxon overdrive. It's got a little tube in it. Then you go to the DD20, the classic, then the Hall of Fame 2. It's my favorite pedal recently, especially the the mod setting. The mod setting is great. That is the pedal board. Over here I have just like a few microphones for recording acoustic guitar. You know, in case I wanted to do like a stereo image. These are kind of cheap microphones, but they sound okay. We don't need anything fancy here. We're just doing YouTube covers, no big deal. Here's the drum kit. The drum kit changes in position and miking pretty much every time I set it up. Right now I've got it facing the room. The other day I had it like facing the wall. We got close mics on the kick drum and the two toms and then the snare down there. Then we got this XY-ish kind of thing over the kit. Yeah, and that's the drums. And a lot of times what I'll do, since all the mics have their own channel and I don't have to like patch anything differently, sometimes I'll just make these kind of room mics live when I record the drums just to see what they pick up, you know, and if it sounds good, might throw it in the final mix with some plugins on it or something. So, you know, it's good to have options when you record, like I do. You know, you can always just mute it if it doesn't work out. So this is actually a pretty cool piece here. This is a guitar rack that my father built for me. It's like a custom 6 guitar rack here, made out of wood with some foam rollers at the bottom. It has lasted for like 10 plus years now, and it's still one of my favorite things in here. This is my Mac Mini setup here. This is where I do a lot of video editing, and you know, if I need to like render something, and also I want to still be working on music over there, I just throw the Mac Mini on and let it do some processing for me sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of the whole room, you know. It's a fairly large bedroom, and I put these false walls up here with a little bit of insulation in the middle, just so it would kind of help with the sound. It doesn't really. I mean, you're never gonna get actual full good soundproofing unless you want to drop a lot of money and do a lot of extra work. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. I haven't had the cops called on me yet, so we're gonna cross our fingers and knock on wood there. I mean, the other big thing, as you can see, I have a lot of lights. Just a lot of daylight bulbs in adjustable lamps, so I can point light wherever I need it. Right now I need some on my face, actually. And I do have a few Philips Hue lights scattered around, so like if I needed to put some light on my face there for the video, and then maybe the fill light here, other angle, just to kind of brighten myself. Oh yeah, how's that? That looks a little better, right? So, you know, there's a few little fancy schmancy things like that in here. That's just me being like a guy that likes Philips Hue lights. I'd love to hear any questions you have. Maybe this is the kind of physical aspects of the studio. We can really dive into the software part maybe in another video where I can go through my favorite plugins and whatnot. I just wanted to give you like a little tour of the space since I haven't really done that. I moved in, I bought this house like 3 years ago almost, maybe coming up on right on 3 years, yeah. And this was the very first project I did. It was around November, December. I took my entire like holiday break and got this place up and running as soon as I possibly could. And it has been just one of the great joys of my life to have a dedicated room with all of my stuff in it, just kind of set up how I want it. It's like, this is, as a musician, as a producer, a recording artist, this is what you dream of. You dream that you can wake up on a Saturday morning, grab some coffee from downstairs, and then walk into your own studio and get working on stuff. It's amazing. So I'm very fortunate. I've worked very hard to get this place to a workable state like it is now, and I hope to make a lot more fun little jams for you guys very, very soon. Thank you so much for 30,000 subscribers. It kind of blows my mind to just sit here and imagine you guys as individuals, you know, like watching my stuff and liking it, maybe commenting, and then liking it enough to hit a subscribe button, meaning I'm signing off as like approving of what this guy's doing. There are 30,000 people that have gone through that. Oops. 30,000 people that have gone through that process, and it blows my mind every day that I think about it. And just want to say thank you, and just wanted to give you a little tour and a welcome to the channel, and we'll see you soon.